Welcome back to the AI for Good Global Summit here in Geneva, and I'm delighted now to be joined by Taryn Southern, who's the Chief Storytelling Officer for BlackRock Neurotech. Hello,
Hello, it's good to be here.
and this is your first time actually to the AI for Good Summit. So, I mean, you're here for a few different panels where you're talking. Your thoughts so far?
Well, I just arrived, so I'm really excited to be here. And AI has been a huge part of my personal and professional life for about 7 years now. I started dabbling in 2017 in artistic applications of AI and have since gone on to also work in the neurotech medical field where AI is being used to help people with neurodegenerative disorders. So I have a pretty wide range of interests, I suppose you could say, in terms of how AI is being applied.
And you're participating in three different panels here.
Yeah, I am, yes.
Tell me about that.
Which one do you want to know?
All of them.
Okay, we'll start with the easier one, which is an artist spotlight, and it's just going to be me talking about my journey using artificial intelligence as a way to expand my creativity, as a way to collaborate with different types of artists and art forms. So I began using AI back in 2017. I collaborated with a variety of AI tools to compose and produce a pop album. And that was very early in the world of AI for creativity, and so it was quite the journey. And so I'll be sharing a lot of my insights and sort of lessons, if you will, from that experience and that project.
I think we're getting a chance to hear a little bit of this album. Let's hear a bit right now.
Sure, sure. All right. Do you have any choice of what kind of song you would like?
I want a bit like Daft Punk.
Daft Punk. Okay. Let's try this one. This was a song that I composed using IBM Watson Beat with a little bit of Google Magenta AI integrated.
This place of life. And this is your voice.
This is my voice, yes, not AI.
Not satisfied. Fantastic. Thank you.
Little tiny Daft Punk in there.
So obviously, one talking about from the artist's point of view, it's the fear of AI taking it over.
I'm sorry.
There's the concerns about AI taking over artists' contributions.
Sure. I think there's always fears whenever a new technology comes on the scene. If you look at the rise of loops and certain technologies in the electronic music space, those were not immediately greeted with open arms, and artists invariably end up using different tools to substitute areas where they may not have a specific skill set or to augment their skill sets, and then when they find a great use for it, all of a sudden it sort of becomes democratized. And so I think we'll see the same thing with AI technology as well.
Accessibility is something you're also talking about a lot, and it's quite important. For example, you're talking about with disabled people. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so separate from my work as an artist and as a creative, I've been working in the neurotech space now for quite some time. I'm Chief Storytelling Officer for an implantable neurotechnology company that builds brain-computer interfaces, which use AI or machine learning to decode neural activity in the brain, allowing for people with paralysis or other neurodegenerative disorders to connect their brain to a digital device so they can operate a wheelchair or feed themselves with a robotic arm. There's so many different applications that are incredibly helpful for them, and so that's just another really incredible way that AI is enabling new possibilities for people with disabilities.
And it could have a profound impact.
A huge impact. I think for a lot of these people, their biggest fear is simply not having their independence. And so being able to have some degree of independence, these devices really enable that.
Of course, the theme throughout this week's summit is really about governance, making sure that we know what we want, ethical AI. How do we implement it?
Oh, well, that's a big question, and I think it really depends on exactly what area or jurisdiction we're sort of speaking about. I'll just speak from as an artist and some of the concerns that artists have, and I think that this could be applied more broadly, but consent and control is a huge aspect of these models. Are you consenting to your data, your creativity, your work being used to train these models? Do you have control over what kinds of data is shared with those models? I mean, these are just two important questions that I think many people as individuals will have to grapple with. And of course, when you sort of widen that out to institutions and regulatory bodies and government bodies, the list gets a lot longer in terms of the concerns that we should all be aware of and discussing, which is why it's important that we're here this week.
So finally, what's the one question others from the artist community that you know are asking you when it comes to AI?
The one question that artists from the artist community are asking when it comes to AI. Gosh, I mean, ironically, I don't think there are enough questions being asked. I think there's a lot of pushback and a lot of fear, and what is really required is an open mind and an experimentalist attitude, a curious, open attitude towards these tools. And I think when we can enter from that place and ask questions, that's where we actually learn.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Thanks very much, Taryn Southern.
Thank you.
And we'll have much more from the AI for Good Global Summit right here in Geneva. Stay with us.